Hello everyone, I'm Tremayne, and today I'm going to review the first season of BET's First Wives Club. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much, really appreciate it. Please hit that like button, because every time you hit that like button, lets YouTube know it's a good video for fans of good shows. And I review a lot of them, so stick with me. And also, if you can, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You'll find the links in the description box. That would be a great help also. I'm like 499 on Instagram, so I'm trying to get over that hump to get to the 500 mark. And then I can make that next climb up to 750. And over on Twitter, I'm almost at 500. I'm like 100 and something away, so I would love your help to make that next plateau over there too. Now, here's the deal with First Wives Club. I didn't give it a fair shot the first time around. I started to watch it, actually, because I've had BT Plus since it first came out. So I started to watch it. I actually got BT Plus for the show Bigger. And after I watched Bigger, I was like, let me give this First Wives Club a chance. But then I felt like, nah, this feels like this is going to be one of the man-hating shows. I can't do it. Not going to do it. I can't. I'm not the one. Not today. But luckily, I've been listening to Jill Scott lately, and I said, let me give this First Wives Club a second shot. And I binge watched it in 2 days. It's like 9 episodes. And I binge watched it in 2 days, and it was good. And it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's not really a man-hating show. Which I'm going to be talking about. So first, I just want to say, for people who don't want spoilers, I recommend the First Wives Club. It's a very good show. It focuses on the lives of 3 good friends, and they're all going through major issues with their husbands, and they're trying to decide if they're going to stay or if they're going to leave, and it's just drama, and it's very good. Like I said, I binge watched it in 2 days. I probably could even binge watched it in a day if I really wanted to, but I did it in 2, and I highly recommend it. So now that I've gotten that out the way, and I recommend you watch the show, and that it's a very good show, and it's just like the drama that goes on between these 3 women. Now we're going to talk about spoilers, because we're going to get into details of the show. So if you want to join me back in this review to hear what the spoilers are and what I thought about the show and each of the characters, then I'm right here for that. But if you don't care to be about being spoiled, or you've already seen the show and just want to see my opinion on what happened, if we agree, then that's good too. So here we go. I've given you a spoiler warning, and now we're going to start with Ari, who is the lawyer who gave up her career for her husband to focus on his career. He's a politician. He's trying to get elected to the Senate. And basically, for 17 years, he's never given her an orgasm. He's very lazy in bed. He watches porn, and then when he's close to ejaculating, he calls her in, gives her about 10 seconds of pumps, and then he's done. He rolls over, tells her it was good, and calls it a day. And so I thought that his character was going to be gay, because normally in these shows like this, there's usually one that's the gay one, but he wasn't. There was actually no gay characters on the show, which was refreshing in a way. Not to say that there shouldn't be gay representation, but not that kind of gay representation. Not a negative kind. There's way too much of that already. But yeah, he's straight. He loves his wife, and the twist was she's really in love with this character named Wesley, the guy who she let get away because on her wedding day, when she was having second thoughts, she found out she was pregnant. So she went through with the wedding to make her mother happy, and she had 200 guests waiting, and she just went on ahead with it. And And so she let Wesley go that first time. On the show, she actually cheats on her husband with Wesley. He never finds out. Now, Wesley says they didn't have sex, but clearly they had a sex tape. And I really thought that sex tape was going to come into play, but it actually never did. I don't even know why they showed it, and she was trying to gonna ask him to delete it, but then she changed her mind. So I was like, her husband's about to be, is running for Senate. Is this gonna come up and ruin his campaign? Is Wesley gonna be in his feelings and let it leak? Is somebody gonna hack Wesley's phone and it leaks? But none of that happened. Maybe season 2. They showed that he was elected, and at the end of the season, and what they did was they wrapped up the show so that if they didn't get a season 2, they pretty much gave everybody a happy ending and left some things hanging, but they gave them pretty much a happy ending. And if there wasn't a season 2, then the fans would have been fine. A one and done season, and all would have been right with the world. But thankfully, they got renewed, and I'm looking forward to seeing season 2 and what new things come up for the girls. Now, what also was surprising was that when David was going to lose his wife, I thought that, because they always make the guys like the supervillains on these things, and, like Wait and Exhale. I was writing for a newspaper at the time that Wait and Exhale came out, and I was a reviewer, so they gave me the book. And so I went on ahead and said, since they gave me these passes to see the movie and everything, let me go on ahead and read this book and get an idea what this movie's going to be about. Wait and Exhale book was very good. What they did to the men in that movie was stereotypical and wrong. All of those characters weren't trash. Some of those guys were actually good guys. And, the fact that they didn't let some of the guys be okay made me mad, because what was the point, of making them villains like that, It's not good, which is why I was pleasantly surprised when I thought they had me, like when he got a new campaign manager, he won his wife back, and he was like, look, we need you. It's important for you to be at these 2 fundraisers or whatever. And she was like, I told you I have to work. And I said, okay, here we go. This is when it's going to turn out that he didn't change. He's going to try to force her to stay or something. But then he was like, okay, we did agree to that. I'm fine. And then she went to her meeting and all was right with the world. So he actually was a good guy. Also, he went out of his way, because his wife said he's never given her an orgasm in 17 years. He went out of his way to make sure she had an orgasm. So her husband's a good guy. She's in love with somebody else, which I know will be a major thing for season 2. But I was kudos for that. He was a guy who, she never told him she wasn't happy. She didn't say, hey, you got yours, I didn't get mine, what's up? She never put her foot down or tried to leave him in 17 years and let him know how bad things were getting or how she was feeling. So, once he actually knew what was going on with her, he fixed it. And that's something that you rarely see on these types of shows, those types of movies, that you saw that kind of progression. And I was like, that's good writing. That's refreshing writing. And the show definitely plays to women, for women, but guys can actually watch, and I feel like they're getting beat up on every time a man comes on the screen. And we're going to get to that last one, which was my favorite. But the next couple is Jill Scott, who plays Hazel Rochelle, and Malik Yoba plays her husband, Dirk Ellsworth. Now, Hazel, I have a love-hate relationship with Hazel, how I feel about her. In the beginning, when she was down on her luck, I was actually feeling pretty good about the character. I was rooting for her. We know that when the husband is as bad as he is, and like in this, like Wait and Exhale, and like in many other movies, pick a Tyler Perry movie, and the woman is going to get her revenge in the end. So the worse he is, the better her revenge will be. So halfway through the season, she manages to get her stuff back, and she's staying with her best friend, one of her best friends, Bree, and she becomes this crazy diva, and I can't stand divas. I'm like the way she treated her friends, the way she was treating the guy that was helping produce her album, the way she was talking to people out in public, like to get a table or something like that. I'm like, no, you're making me hate this character. You make me not like her. And then she would turn around towards the end. She did some good things that made me go, oh, all right, she ain't so bad. But there is a part where this actress, Tara Pacheco, who played Versace/Sasha, which is her husband David's daughter, found out that he was stealing money, and she, helped her basically get millions back and to basically get her life back. And during her speech in the last episode, she, Sasha, said that, she was the one who helped put her through college and get 2 degrees. And then, Jill Scott's character Hazel says, well, that was a loan, right? And this girl just got you back millions of dollars that was stolen from you, and you're going to say she still owes you for her college? That is unacceptable. And the look on the actress' face when she said that is priceless, because she looked like the character would have looked when she said that. She looked pissed, but then she went back to smiling or whatever. But I thought that was an interesting writing decision, for the character who had already been on the upswing and being nice again. Not as much of a diva, but still the diva was there, which is true to the character, but made me not like her. And then her husband Derek Ellsworth, Malik Yoba, I felt sorry for him because he definitely was the villain. He was the male character with no dimensions. I felt like all he needed was a mustache, long mustache that he can twirl. He was that cartoonish of a nasty soap opera type villain, and I love soaps. And he had no redeeming qualities. He had no redeeming moments. He was a user from beginning to end. And I would have loved if they gave him, like they did the other 2 guys, some more dimension, some more depth. Because if they had given him more depth, then, like say, because she was a diva when she was on top, she kind of treated him like a peon, and then maybe that caused him to do his little escape plan, and he found his little side piece, and the rest was history. That is not always just one person, but they did it out of 2 out of 3 marriages, so I'm not going to complain. He was the only one that they didn't give any sort of like explanation, or I know some guys are just bad. They're just bad, straight up the top. They're users, but I thought, since they did it with the other 2 guys, maybe they could have given him a little more depth. But it is what it is. And I still enjoyed the scenes. And finally, we had Bree Washington, played by Michelle Buteau, and her husband Gary. Now, this was written by the woman who did wrote Girls Trip. So this was like the Tiffany Haddish type character that's ready to pop off at a moment's notice. And Bree was down to pop off. And and her husband cheated on her, and so that caused them to split. And when they go to counseling, the counselor is actually on his side, and he tries to tell Bree, I cheated because. And then he starts listing all of these different things that was going on. She couldn't hear it, which is realistic. She wasn't listening. She felt attacked, even by the therapist. She felt like she wasn't being heard. And, they just grew further apart. They were separated, so he started dating this character named Melissa, who was played by Wakima Hollis, she's Monaco on Dynasty. They don't really show her that much anymore, but she's Monaco on Dynasty. And Melissa is, Bree's a plus size girl. Melissa is the complete opposite. She's like very much in shape. She's a vegan. She's into fitness. And like now he's into fitness and different types of water, things like that. And Bree's a surgeon, so she's got lots of money, different things like that. But having the kids, him not taking care of the kids the way he was, now her hair's not done. She looks like she's in the market in her pajamas, and she feeling like she doesn't look good. But then there's so many scenes, like she also cheated on him too. Was encouraged by her friends to cheat on him. So all of the wives cheated, but none of the guys found out. Now, I think all the wives cheated. And Bree definitely cheated because she cheated with the bartender. And I think Jill Scott character cheated with the producer. But I saw this like last week, so I'm a little fuzzy. I think they did hook up. But anyway, what I loved about this, once again, was actually the male depiction. I love the character Bree. I loved her epiphany of realizing that it took two to make the marriage break down the way that it did. They end up having sex again. Things feel like it's going better. She wants to stop the divorce, and he's like, no, this is just sex. We have a lot of things to work on in our marriage before we can just get back together, that I don't want to go back to the same things. And I thought that was just like a very interesting take, because it allowed her to see that he did have a point. Now, I'm not saying he should have cheated, but I'm just saying that they gave a serious reason why they had this disconnect, and he ended up connecting with somebody in the PTA or whatever. But in the end, both the therapist sent him and her on a quest to remember why they loved each other, and they both ended up doing the same thing, coming to the same place, and to the same conclusion, and they both agreed to continue therapy and work on their relationship and let the past go and start back in the place where they first fell in love, and start again with the love feelings, not the negative feelings, because throughout the season, Bree couldn't let go that he cheated. Even after she cheated, she couldn't let go that he cheated. So when they were having the therapy sessions, all her answers were, but he cheated. And have you not noticed, did you not hear that he cheated? So she was stuck in that moment of finding out that it happened. And they were able to come back to a place where, they were able to fall in love, get back together again. And this would be a couple that I would actually root for. Now, if a guy's a habitual cheater, leave. Just leave. Unless you're cool with it. You're going to do your thing, he's going to do his thing, y'all still going to stay together. I know people like that. I know people with open relationships. If that's what you feel is good for you, you can handle it, keep on staying together. But if you're someone who honestly and truly needs monogamy, and you're with someone who's a habitual cheater, time to go. Just go. Find someone new. I know you wasted a lot of time with this person, but you're wasting even more time trying to hold on to something that's not working if monogamy is your goal. that person has already proven to you time and again it ain't happening. So I did love that they both came together. They both realized they had things to work on, and they both were willing to work on their issues. She can be a little violent. She can be a little crazy, but she's also crazy because her life is spinning out of control, and I understood why she was acting crazy. It wasn't just that she was a crazy person, which meant she can get help and get better. So I actually really enjoyed First Wives Club. I really look forward to season 2. I thoroughly recommend season 1. Even for the guys, it's not one of those shows where you're going to feel beat up, pissed on, slapped around, treated like ish. It ain't that kind of party, so it's safe. It's safe to watch. So thank you for watching. I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and I will catch you in the next review.